In front of him, you can see how he's pulling away from Ayrton Senna, who has clearly got a problem. And Lauda goes out, and I can't see whether it's Johansson or Alboreto. I think it is Alboreto that he's passing, and Alboreto is in 4th position. So now Lauda in the lead has lapped everybody up to the 3rd place man, who is Keke Rosberg. And I will give you the gap between Lauda and Rosberg, which was last time I took it, before Rosberg's tyres had warmed up, 11.98 seconds, and it was actually Stefan Johansson that Lauda passed and not Alboreto. Now here's Lauda, and he's completing the lap now, and the gap between Lauda and Senna is just about 2 seconds. Here is Rosberg. I see him as Stefan Johansson is caught by Senna, and the gap now is 10.3 seconds. Rosberg is gaining. Keke Rosberg in 3rd position on his 2nd set of new tyres. There he is catching the new race leader, Niki Lauda.
That looks to me as if Rosberg did what others have failed to do in this race. He used his head then, and even he the first time, because he went out on a new set and ruined them. He had the intelligence and experience to come straight in and not soldier on, and he brought these ones in slowly now, and now he's flying. He waited for a few laps before he really put his foot down, and that could well win him the race. Lauda is well within his range.
6 cars on the first lap. Race leader Niki Lauda, and off he goes. Niki Lauda's lost it, and he's completely smashed the front of the car, and he will reverse out, because it looks to me as though he hasn't damaged the left front suspension. Let's look at it again, and let's watch Ayrton Senna. Lauda off, up onto the curbing, trying to avoid the concrete wall, but he's smashed the left suspension. Lauda is out.
Well, I don't know what happened there. He may have just knocked through it, but it almost looked as if the car snapped out of control so quickly. Something may have broken on it. It did seem to snap and turn sharp left. And there is Ayrton Senna, and Rosberg is in sight behind him now.
And Derek Warwick, who had stood the chance of moving up a place, has gone out of the race as well. It's all happening. Adelaide is indeed alive, because now Ayrton Senna is back in the lead. There is Derek Warwick out of his last race for Renault, and we have the prospect now of seeing Keke Rosberg catching Ayrton Senna and taking the lead. Senna with a new nose on the Lotus. There is Stefan Johansson in the background. You remember what the gap was? 11 seconds. You've just seen it's 5.6. We're on lap 59, 23 laps to go. The closing stages of the Australian Grand Prix are going to be something to see, because look at Rosberg in the background, behind Johansson. The gap is visibly closing. Keke Rosberg, the 36-year-old Finn who lives in Ibiza, flies his own jet plane, is immensely wealthy, a great wheeler dealer, is about to try and catch Senna, and I think succeed.
Yes, absolutely, and there'll be no need for his pit to signal him gaps now. He can see Ayrton Senna. He'd like a clear view of him, so that without Johansson in the way. But I don't think he'll be too worried. He knows he's going to dispense with the Ferrari probably when they get back onto the straight at halfway round this current lap, and then he'll have clear air. Senna still bouncing it over the curbs, but that wasn't too serious on the apex of the corner. Have a look at his rear tyres. You see the right rear is all grained across, it's all rippled across, and that is not a healthy rear tyre at the moment, and he's now under too much pressure from Rosberg really to take the time to slow it down and try and clean them up.
Meantime, let's think about the Constructors' Championship. Both McLarens are out of the race and therefore out of the points. Alboreto is in third place on 4 points. His teammate Johansson is still running, albeit in 10th position, but might still finish in the points. McLaren started this race 10 points ahead of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. It could turn out to be a very close thing, but not as close as it's getting in the race for the lead on lap 60 out of 82. The gap is down to 3.9 seconds and less than that, I suspect. Senna goes over the line looking into his mirror. Rosberg goes over the line looking at Senna. 3.5 seconds. Into the S's goes the Finn at some 140 Ks. Up to Wakefield Turn, chasing Senna, 110 Ks, second gear, stay in second gear. Go up to East Terrace Bend, the left-hander, at 110 Ks. On to Flinders Bend, still in second at 110. Accelerate up, third gear, fourth gear, 150 Ks. Senna still in front. Up to the Markets Turn, the right-hander, 150 Ks. Back to second for Stag Turn, the right-hander, which they're approaching now, 110 Ks. Up to third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, down Rundle Road, 150 kilometres an hour. Third gear into Brewery Bend, which they're approaching, and through now, down into the Getawell Terrace in sixth gear, or fifth if you've only got a 5-speed gearbox. 300 kilometres an hour, 200 miles an hour. Brake hard for the racetrack hairpin. First gear, 100 Ks. Up to second, to third, to fourth. Into the paddock turn, which seems to going on left forever. Then it straightens out a bit. Rosberg there, still in second place, catching Senna. Fourth gear now, 200 Ks, down to Mitsubishi corner, the hairpin, and the gap as they go through towards the end of the lap, with Senna frantically looking at his mirror again. He's down to 2.3 seconds.
And I'm just looking at Rosberg's tyres, and they look to be marking up a little bit the rears, but he's still catching Senna. And certainly he's had the charge. No, they look just getting a decent look. You need to get the light right to see him, but the right rear has grained across half the tread. It's not as bad as Senna's, and I think Keke really could afford to take it easy for a little while. He's got plenty of time left in this race. He ought to clean those tyres up by taking it easy and then have a go. I think, of course, it's very easy to sit here and hypothesize like that. Those two chaps are out there in the very heat of battle, and it's a lot more difficult to make cool decisions. But Rosberg is lining up to attack Senna now. He's hauled him in pretty quickly.
And you're about to see a new leader, I think, on lap 62. Senna leading, Rosberg second, Alboreto third, Lafitte fourth, Streth fifth. In sixth position, and there he goes, Senna, it slows, and Rosberg goes through, and Keke Rosberg again rightly leads the Australian Grand Prix, and I think Senna's race is over. He's slowing right down, he's blown it. The turbo has gone on Ayrton Senna's Renault engine into the pits. It went at just the right point for him not to have to walk home, because I have little doubt that Ayrton Senna will be getting out of the car as it goes up on the jacks. On go the new tyres. Steve Hallam talks to Senna through the headphones. Well, this is strange, because they're showing every sign of going on. Maybe the mechanics don't realise what the situation is. Their reflex, of course, would be to get the jacks under the car. Off comes the top. Senna's race is effectively finished. They're having a look at the turbo, and I'm sure that they will decide that he is out. And the threat to Keke Rosberg, the immediate threat, is now removed, and it really is a case of bringing the car home. And Alboreto is into the pits. It's all happening. Alboreto, who was in third place before, but was in the position of becoming second had he passed the pits where Senna was stationary, is now into the pits stationary. Now, what's that going to mean? It's going to mean that Keke Rosberg leads, of course, and it's going to mean that Jacques Lafitte is up into second place. The Philippe Streff, his Ligier teammate, is up to third, and sensational is that Ivan Capelli is going to go up to 4th place, Gerhard Berger up to 5th position, and Stefan Johansson to 6th place. So had Alboreto not gone into the pits, and if he can still get out, this could make things very, very interesting in the Constructors' Championship. Lap 64.
Well, it looks very much now, Keke Rosberg now enjoys over a minute's lead on Jacques Lafitte, so he can really stroke it home very gently to the line, which he undoubtedly will do.